Happy Monday. Our objective for today is that I can explain how a model and model system work together. I can identify the difference between a hypothesis and an assumption. Today's agenda, backpacks and cell phones need to be put in the proper location. Cell phones should be not in your backpacks. Excuse me. Cell phones should be in your backpacks. Backpacks should be in the green marked area in the classroom. Reminder e-haul passes. We're doing really good on making them, but we're still not stopping them. Remember, you have to stop them. That means you go over and you hit end pass, student ID number, end pass again. If you just hit end pass and you don't put in your student ID number, it's not stopping them. Okay. So you have to do the full step. You have to hit end pass, student ID number, end pass. Okay, we're going to look at our QOD. It looks a little different today. Then we're going to get into our notes. Okay, so we're going to take notes. This is a good time to practice taking focus notes. Don't forget, focus notes need a objective and a summary. Your objective is right up here. You will see your objective again on your assignment page as well. And then we will work on our assignment. Materials that will be needed today, you will need a laptop. You will need your workbook. If you have not already got it out, it's okay. Okay, we'll get it later. You definitely need a pen or pencil and paper. Okay. If you do not have some place to write notes, I do have a few spiral notebooks. I still have the 3 Brad folders with the note templates, and I have a few composition notebooks still available. You need to think about getting something together that you're able to put in your notes every time. You're going to be taking lots of notes in this class, and you need to be able to keep up with all of your notes. If you do not have the availability for something, let me know and I will help you get something. When we go to get our workbooks out, remember that you need to get it out of the cabinet that belongs to your class hour. Make sure it's the correct color for the correct class period, and make sure you are getting your number. If you do not remember your number that you were assigned at the beginning of the year, you need to see me about getting it, and you need to write it down somewhere, start memorizing it, something, because I will also be moving desk around. Be ready, probably tomorrow you will have a different seating arrangement, and you will probably have a different place to sit. Wherever your number is, that's where you sit. All right, let's go on in here and look at our question of the day. Okay, so question of the day, we're going to use the form below to answer the multiple choice questions of the day. Here you have the form below. You're going to click on this models and hypothesis. There is 3 questions. It's still worth 20 points because remember, we do one each day, or we do some each day that are going to be worth 20 points. That is going to equal 100 at the end of the week. If you do not have a computer and you want to do this on desktop or on a computer, you may access the desktop at some point in time. Do not forget you can always come in before or after school and get it done. And don't forget they are due by Friday. Okay, so clicking here, you will see you have models and hypothesis. It has 3 different questions. Right up here, I highlight it. It is total is worth 20 points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a timer here for, let's say I'll give you about 2 minutes to get this done. Okay, this should automatically translate for you. If it does not translate for you, let me know and I will get it to you later. If you do not have a computer and the desktop is open, you're more than welcome to jump over there and access that desktop. So let's get a 2-minute timer going here. Got less than a minute. Let's get this done. Okay, time is up. I hope everybody got done. All right, so let's move on here to our assignment. Remember, this is always underneath classwork. Okay, so our work for today, like I said, here's your objective. Your assignment work for today is I can explain how a model and a model system work together. I can identify the difference between a hypothesis and an assumption. Today, you will be taking notes over the presentation and videos. You will have two activities, number 2 and number 3, to finish in the BioZone. They can be done either online or in your workbook. This is a great time to practice writing focus notes. Once again, if you need a spiral composition book, 3 Brad folder, paper, or note template, I have that available for you to get and use. It's a good idea not only to take notes over the slides, but also to take notes on the videos. Also, don't forget there is pen, pencils, writing utensils in the student supply drawer. So get your stuff together. I'll give you just a moment. Let's get our stuff together so that we're ready to go. Okay, and we're gonna. If you look down below on your assignment, you'll see that I have posted the videos, both videos that we are going to be watching. I have also posted, I believe, the links to BioZone for the assignments. Okay, this is the first time that we've ever done these assignments, or the first time we've been using BioZone for our assignments. So there may be a few bumps in the road. So if there are problems, we'll figure them out as we go. Okay, not a big deal. Anytime we watch videos for in our lessons, I always post the videos so that you can watch them later. Or if you need to watch them, you missed them, you need to write notes later off of them. Maybe they went too fast and you didn't get good notes. You can always go back and rewatch them. Okay, so let's get started here. We're going to start with this video here. This is an introduction to models. No, we're not talking about fashion models. Okay. You are you're more than welcome to take notes off of any or all videos. The videos are posted in Google Classroom, and you can view them here later as needed. Okay, so let me get this open and make sure it's on Spanish settings, and we will get started on this. Okay, so now that we got that video finished, let's move on here into our slides. Okay, systems and systems models. Okay, so a system, which I have put up on the backboard, some simple vocabulary to help you out. A system basically is a group of parts that work together to do a job. A system model is a simple diagram or explanation that shows how the parts of a system work together. So a system is a set of interrelated components that work together. Some of the systems that are studied in biology include energy flow in ecosystems, gene regulation, interactions between organ systems, and feedback mechanisms. You can have different types of models. You can have visual models that include drawings, such as these plant cells on the right. You can have three-dimensional models. They can be made out of modeling clay, ice cream sticks, okay, like the one down below. Scientists often use models to learn about biological systems. A model is a representation of a system. It is useful for breaking a complex system down into smaller parts that can be studied more easily. So, in other words, a system is a group of parts that work together to do something. In biology, systems can be big, like an ecosystem with animals, plants, water, and air. Or they can be small, like the human digestive system with organs that break down food. A system model is a simplified way of showing or explaining how the parts of a system are connected and work together. Models can be drawings, diagrams, flowcharts, or even physical or computer simulations. They help us see, test, and understand things that might be too complex to look at directly. For example, the circulatory system is a system. A diagram of the heart, blood vessels, and arrows showing blood flow would be a system model. Systems and system models continue. Here we have a mathematical model. Mathematical models include graphs or mathematical equations. Okay. We also have analogies. Analogies are a comparison between two things. Sometimes being able to compare biological systems to everyday objects can help us better understand stuff. For example, we were just talking about the heart. The heart pumps blood in blood vessels is much like the same way a fire truck pumps water from a fire hydrant through a hose. It's the same way. ATP, which is a type of energy, is the same thing like a charged phone battery. Often only a part of a system is modeled. As scientists gather more information about a system, more data can be put into the model so that eventually it represents the real system more closely. There are many different ways to model data. Seeing data represented in different ways can help to understand it better. Okay, everybody got everything down? Okay, so we're going to move on to our next objective. So our first objective was, remember, was how systems and system models work together. So now we're going to move into, well, actually, we have one more video real quick to watch about models, and then we'll move into our next section here. Okay, so like I said, now we're back into our notes here, our slides. We have gone into our second part of our objective, which is knowing the difference between a hypothesis and an assumption. So we're going to start with some simple vocabulary. I have also put that on the board to help you. What is an observation? An observation is what you notice using your senses. Okay, our tools. Don't forget about our five senses. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you hear? What do you feel? Okay, those are all ways of observing. Is it fuzzy? I mean, how many of you guys have felt the molting of garnet and thought it was going to feel different? And it's very lightweight and it feels totally different than what you thought it was going to. Okay, so those are observations that you have made, and they are observations that you have used your senses to be able to help you with. Then we have a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a testable explanation. It's basically what they call an educated guess about what you have observed. Okay, so you observe it, you use your senses to create an educated guess that is a testable explanation. Observations are what you see. Hypotheses are what you think might be true and you want to test it. Okay, so an observation is watching or recording what is happening. Observation is the basis for forming hypotheses and making predictions. Predictions are expected outcomes. An observation may generate a number of hypotheses. Each hypothesis will lead to one or more predictions, which can be tested by investigation. Remember, a hypothesis is an educated, testable statement from an observation. If we look at these different caterpillars here, observation 1, some caterpillar species are brightly colored and appear to be highly visible to predators such as insectivorous birds. Predators appear to avoid these caterpillars. These caterpillars are often found in groups. So we observe that. So now we can form a hypothesis. Why are they normally in groups? Why are they colorful? Okay. So then we can do a test. We can come up with an educated guess and then make a test for it. Observation 2. Some caterpillars, this is the caterpillar down here at the bottom, some caterpillar species have excellent camouflage. When alerted to danger, they are difficult to see because they blend into the background. These caterpillars are usually found alone. Why are they alone? Why isn't there a whole bunch of them? Okay, so now we can make an educated guess and then create a hypothesis. Making observations. There are many types of observations that can be made on biological systems. Okay, they can involve observation of certain behaviors in wild populations, physiological measurements made during previous experiments, accidental results obtained when seeking answers to completely unrelated questions, and the observations may lead to the formation of questions about the system being studied. These observations may actually lead to more questions. There are two basic main types of observations that you make in a biological system, and these are what you call qualitative observations and quantitative observations. And I will write these on the board, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative is descriptions using your senses. There is no numbers involved. So the leaf is green, the fish is swimming in circles, the truck is fast. Okay. Quantitative is observations, is measurements using numbers or tools. The plant grew 3 centimeters. The water temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. She is 5 foot tall. The way I always remember it is quantitative. Quan has an N in it. Okay, it's a quantity. If you go to the store and they ask you how many is going to be a quantity, you might say, I need 5. That is going to be a quantity of 5. So quantitative is always going to be dealing with numbers. Qualitative is always going to be a description. Forming a hypothesis, okay? So when we form a hypothesis, this means we're making an educated guess about what we think will happen in an experiment based on our observation and prior knowledge. So generating a hypothesis is crucial to a scientific investigation. A scientific hypothesis is a possible explanation for an observation which is capable of being tested by experimentation. Features of a sound hypothesis: describing patterns of trends and data, describing how the dependent variable changes due to changes in the independent variable, explaining why the dependent variable changes due to the changes in the independent variable, making predictions based on trends in the data and justifying the prediction, and justifying the predictions of others based on the data presented. So a good hypothesis is testable. You can check it with an experiment, and it is often written as an if and then statement. If this happens, then this happens, okay? So if a plant gets more sunlight, then it will grow taller. So if we observed plants in a sunlight and they were taller than those that were in the shade, we could say if a plant gets more sunlight, then it will grow taller. Like these little pill bugs, okay, or roly-polies. Some people call them roly-polies. If there is a relationship between pill bug abundance and environmental humidity, then pill bug abundance will vary with humidity. So that is a hypothesis. Assumption, okay, assumptions. And this I'll write on the board, okay. We have an assumption up here on the board. Your definition: assumption is something you accept as true without testing it. So assumptions, any investigation requires you to make assumptions about the system you're working with. So we can all make assumptions. And yes, we all know the old saying that assumptions make a, yeah, we're not going to go there. Anyway, assumptions are features of the system you're studying that you assume to be true, but you do not or cannot test. Okay. So let's say that we assume the soil in every pot has the same nutrients. A hypothesis would be an educated guess that you can make that we could test. We could test all the soil, but we could assume that all the soil is the same in every pot. Okay, so some assumptions about the previous examples, okay, involving the caterpillars. Remember the caterpillars that were colorful? We could say that insect-eating birds have color vision. That's an assumption. We don't know it. We cannot test it, or we may not be able to test it, so we have to assume it. Caterpillars that look bright to us also appear bright to insectivorous birds. Maybe they do look bright. We don't know. We're not a bird. Birds can learn about the taste of prey by eating them. Maybe they taste disgusting. Maybe there's a reason they don't eat those bright colored bugs or caterpillars. Maybe they're nasty. And so they learn that they taste nasty, so they leave them alone. We don't know. We're not the bird. We don't eat them. And we have different tastes than the birds do, so we can't test it to find out, but we can assume. Okay? So a hypothesis, bright color patterns might signal to potential predators that the caterpillars are distasteful. Birds will avoid preying on brightly colored conspicuous caterpillars. Okay, so that is a difference between a hypothesis and a assumption. Assumption is something you accept as true without testing it. A hypothesis is an educated guess that we test. An assumption is not based on experiment or observation. Hypothesis is based on observation or prior knowledge. An example of an assumption is all pots have the same soil quality. A hypothesis is if a plant gets more sunlight, then it will grow taller. Don't forget that if and then statement. Okay. Assumption helps simplify or focus an experiment. A hypothesis guides what you will test in experiment. Okay, we have one more video to watch. This will kind of sum up our last part of our hypothesis, and then we will discuss our assignments. Like I said, they are in Biozone, so this is going to be a little different. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but we'll figure it out because this will be the first time, and we'll get all the bugs figured out. Bugs, after we're talking about all the insects. Okay, sorry. We'll get all the bugs figured out and make sure that we are able to do better in the future, and we'll move forward.